Hello and welcome to the LampLighters podcast with Lauren Smith and Jaylen Corver. This is Zach Hampton with you once again.
Shockingly.
Who are you? What?
I'm never here.
Yeah.
I don't even think you've been in half of the episodes actually anymore.
Yeah. Wow.
Well,
You're basically a guest appearance at this point.
Yeah, you wouldn't even make season regular on TV.
I'd make reoccurring cast.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
okay.
guest.
Okay. Fair enough.
Point taken. Anyways,
Moving
we're
on.
with you here, and yeah, it's evening recording, a little bit different for us. We got together to watch the Habs-Flames game. Jay, what you think of that? Montreal 3-2 win.
It was a boring game for the most part until Calgary kind of made it close.
We had this great thing where our feed got stuck 3 minutes behind.
But the lights that we had going off whenever somebody scored were still on time. So the lights would go off, and then we'd be like, oh, someone scored, and we'd have to wait 3 minutes, and those were like the most anxious minutes of our lives.
Of your lives.
And what Joe's saying, what Jay's saying.
Who's Joe now?
He's here so infrequently that he doesn't even remember your name.
Oh, shots fired. Anyway,
Moving right along.
your point was...
is that it was the most exciting part of the whole thing.
Yes, because there wasn't much going on in that game after all. Calgary seemed to take their Christmas break a little earlier this year, but we'll come around after Christmas.
Yeah, they mailed that one in, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Snapping, a 5-year winning streak of winning their last game before Christmas break?
And
It
since
was
2009.
2009.
That's 8 years.
8 years? Math.
Well, not including the lockout year, so it'd be 7 years.
Okay, fine.
But anyways, let's get straight into it. We got a few stories to touch up on. So let's get right down and start right off the bat with Eugene Melnyk.
Oh, Eugene. Oh, Eugene. What are we going to do with you, Eugene?
He's a great guy. Great owner, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Definitely want him over.
He's a regular Charles Wang.
Yes. All right. Great comparison. Yeah.
No, he's not as bad as Ballard, but Wang is probably the closest modern owner to what Melnyk's doing here. This is pretty bad. Let's set the context up here. Centennial Classic, Habs Senators, great game for the NHL. They're throwing all sorts of old articles on their social media platforms. They're having a lot of fun with it. And who comes to spoil the party? First of all, in one corner you got Justin Trudeau doing a selfie thing. In the other corner you got, players warming up, and those sweaters were great.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got Eugene Melnyk over there in the corner. Reporters coming around him, especially the Carlson thing and everything that's come up. And he said, what, Lauren?
He said a few different things. Initially kind of talked about the fact that he has to decide whether or not he's going to blow a lifetime of money or a lifetime of working hard to support a hockey team. It's not going to happen. And then, where is it? He compared it to owning a McDonald's franchise when asked about selling the team.
He said that?
He said, it just won't happen. It's a franchise. Imagine if you own a McDonald's franchise, but you can move it. Would you sell it? It's something that's very difficult to buy.
He actually said that.
He actually said that. And
right before the Centennial Classic.
Yeah. And so, following those comments, the next Senators game was on Tuesday against Minnesota. They had 13,804 attendees. And according to, I saw this on Elliot Friedman's 31 Thoughts, and he said it's kind of becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy where the fans are going, he doesn't think we support this team, so why should we? Like, they're going, you're kind of treating us like crap. I think fans want the arena moved to downtown Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of having none of it, and so they're going, well, if you're going to treat us like this, why are we going to put money in your pocket, is the whole thing. And they actually responded with the hashtag Melnyk out.
Which got trending on Canada Twitter, I believe.
Canadian trending topic.
Not as bad as Fire Bergeron, but still pretty close.
But still, on the day of that outdoor game, that was what was trending.
That's classic. I mean, that is that.
And a Centennial Classic.
I don't know. You know what? Here's a take. Here's a hot take on this. You're not going to pour money into it. Sell it to somebody who will. Exactly. I mean, come on. This ain't rocket science. Your heart's obviously not into it if you're coming out and saying these things. You think this is going to be a team that's making you money? You'd make better money going out buying Florida and moving them to Quebec City.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to have like the biggest fan base there, but at least they'll all be loyal to you.
Vegas, Las Vegas is making more money at this point probably than the Senators are.
That's just insane what's going on in Vegas right now. That's another topic for later, but that's nuts.
How do you mess up a Canadian market? The economy in Canada is not tanking by any means. This isn't the late 1990s anymore.
So I'm reading just a open letter from a fan who's kind of a younger fan to Melnyk, and one of the things in the opening line, it's by a guy named Nick Dunn. Was, "I am one of the thousands of anonymous fans you have belittled and berated over the past year in response to ticket sales. We've endured as many ups and downs on your tenure as an owner, but this particular incident on the eve of the NHL 100 Winter Classic has compelled me to write this letter." He goes on to talk about the fact that the city owes it to him for keeping the franchise afloat after he bought it in 2003. But that goodwill has now run out, and that he has never witnessed an owner of a major sports franchise with such contempt for his own team's fan base.
I don't know. Harold Ballard would be far and away number one, but,
well,
maybe good number two, though.
We think this is a younger fan.
Oh, yeah.
He's only, he wasn't born until after the Sens came into being in Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of a different situation. And the other thing is, Melnyk himself has attended a game as a regular customer in the 300 level, and said that the Everyman experience was frustrating due to arena parking. So, you're frustrated attending it as an everyday person, but you're not going to do anything to improve it. So why is the everyday person going to go and put out their money to you?
I can't help but wonder if Batman at this point wishes that they relocated him in 2003.
Was that a rumor what was going to happen?
Yeah,
in 2003?
absolutely. Them and Buffalo were in absolute straits back then. It was terrible. Ottawa was certainly high on the list for relocation before Melnyk came in, and he was a bit of a savior back then. Of course, over his tenure, you've had the run to the Cup Finals, but there's been questionable financial decisions for Ottawa for years. You can see the pent-up rage of the fans. The whole Zdeno Chara thing, the Danny Heatley situation, the Jason Spezza.
Mm-hmm.
It's been one thing after another in Ottawa. And they've had little success here and there. I mean, Stanley Cup, of course, would help cleanse all wounds, but this is a team where the on-ice product, they overachieved last year. Now we're seeing the results of that. They weren't a great statistically strong team last year. They're a team that overachieved. They're a team that their fan base needed an overachieving year. They got it. But when you have a year like that, it's supposed to ignite the fan base a little bit. And your owner is essentially taking a fire extinguisher to anything.
Yeah.
He's a joke.
Yeah, they need
Sell
to do
the
something
team.
about
Sell
that.
the team or relocate it. Just put the fans out of their misery at this point. And that would be a sad fact, to relocate a Canadian team.
Yeah.
Because you know where they're going? Houston. It's going to be the Houston Senators at this point.
At this rate.
There's some... I guess they could look to try and keep the two conferences even. They may just move them to Quebec.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than moving it to a Western Conference.
You're leaving a very open market in Ottawa, though. Very strong market there.
Well, you would think another team would quick move in there.
Yeah,
A smart offer.
I don't know. I think you'd probably be looking at a...
Melnyk gets too involved in the hockey side of his team. Like, the best owners are the ones who are like, here's the money. I will go have fun with the fans. You handle the hockey stuff.
Illich in Detroit. Great example.
Ledecky.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Illich just because of the success, though. Detroit won 3 Stanley Cups since they bought the team.
Yeah,
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And the names you're bringing there, where you're hiring the scouts to go look in the fringes of Russia and finding Pavel Datsyuk, and to bringing in Henrik Zetterberg, and bringing in Kronwall and Nemestikov, not Nemestikov, Konstantinov.
Yeah.
Fedosov.
Fedorov?
No, I was thinking of Fedosov and Fedorov. Larionov. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Not to mention you're drafting guys like Steve Yzerman and bringing them up through the system. You're taking time to your prospects. You're investing in them so you can keep everybody. And then you're allowing your GM to go out and make the big trades. The 01-02 team, for instance, where they acquired Luke Robitaille, Brett Hall, and Dominik Hasek. Probably the first year I was a huge hockey fan, probably the most loaded team I've ever seen. Where Pavel Datsyuk was playing on the third line.
That's ridiculous.
Under Shanahan, Yzerman, Larionov, Fedorov, Hull, Robitaille.
That's nuts.
They had Darren McCarty, Maltby, Draper, fourth line.
There's so many all-stars and just superstars on that team. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, 12 Hall of Famers.
Oh yeah, that's nuts.
You get my point though. This is an owner who let Ken Holland have free reign. And we talk about, what a great GM Ken Holland is. It's because Illich provided everything that was necessary and kept out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And in a situation with Melnyk here, his team overachieved. His hockey people, his internal people, I imagine would have told him that. And said, okay, we can go out and take a look on the open market, see who's available. To their credit, they bring in Matt Duchene, but they're not willing to pony up for Kyle Turris. Look at the stats between Nashville's record with Turris to Ottawa's record with Duchene. It's unbelievable. And it keeps getting worse by the day.
Oh yeah, Ottawa keeps losing.
And Nashville keeps winning.
Yeah.
Turris arguably is a better fit in their system, and and whatever. You can make a whole bunch of arguments there, but nevertheless, it's not to say that Melnyk hasn't gone out there and allowed some moves to be made, but they're not the right moves. They're moves almost just to make a splash. At this point, you'd be better off bringing Alexander Daigle out of retirement with his 4-goal game in the alumni game.
Which matched his career goal total.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's really funny. I
think you're taking me too seriously on that one. No, he got more than that. But, at this point, let's bring back the whole gang. Alexei Yashin, let's bring him out of retirement. We need a first-line winger. Let's go get Daniel Alfredson. Let's bring him back, too.
Melnyk chased Alfredson out of Ottawa.
Oh, I guess that's not an option anymore either.
Oh.
According to this fan's I don't know enough about the Senators.
Oh, yeah.
According to the fan letter.
Yeah, that sort of rings a bell. Yeah, it does. There were some weird things in that situation too, and added to the litany of things that he's already done.
And according to this, not once but twice, he chased Alfredson out.
I think that Ottawa. Speaking as somebody who's been going for an Eastern Conference team for a long time, I don't care for Ottawa. I don't care for the little Pajot chant and everything else about their franchise. But nevertheless, it makes me sick of the Canadian franchise being driven into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Good.
And I think that, I'd be calling them, if I were a Sens fan, I'd be picking up the pitchforks and the torches and getting ready to
get him to sell or whatever you need to do.
No, that's probably more my Montreal rioting part of myself coming out, but nevertheless,
well, the other thing
it's an embarrassment.
He's constantly talking about money, how he's going bankrupt. Teams below him are the New Jersey Devils, the New York Islanders, the Tampa Bay Lightning, Colorado Avalanche, Winnipeg Jets. All of these teams are below him as far as money goes. Those owners do not go after their fan base. That's according to Forbes.
Not to mention that Jeff Vinnick of the Tampa Bay Lightning has gone out there and allowed his team to spend.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't have that ton of money there. I mean, look at Tampa Bay right now, the top team in the league. Maybe apart from Vegas in some ways, but nevertheless, who would imagine we'd be saying this? Oh my goodness. Anyways,
that's so weird.
We keep wanting to get to Vegas, but nevertheless, it's Vinnick goes out there and he lets Yzerman do whatever. Isn't that a great model?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's
sure.
exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we just go off the rails with this, I mean, I could rant about Eugene Melnyk the whole time. 3 words to you, Mr. Melnyk: sell the team. Simple. Put the fans out of their misery.
Yeah.
Stay out of it.
Where's the Tylenol? Let's move on.
Or if you want to keep your team, butt out. Like, stop talking to the media. Just
But has he done
enough?
enough? Has he ruined his image enough to do that, though?
I think that there's still the possibility that he just shut up. If he apologized for the statements that he's made, sit down and shut up, yes. But you'd have to apologize to your fan base.
How do you even apologize to your fan base at this point? The only thing you could do as an apology to your fan base is to go out there and make a significant move. And what move is left to make? Verbal apologies aren't going to do anything anymore for the Ottawa fan base.
No, definitely not.
Either go out there, the only 2 conceivable moves you could do is a significant roster move to bring in a big piece, or to promise to move the arena. That's basically all he has.
Be a big thing.
That's all he could offer to do at this point. And between that is you would be able to test, Jay, moving an arena at this point, with any city council and navigation you have to do with that, you can't promise that.
Unless you're putting in all your own money.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I mean,
But that's where the apology comes in.
I don't think the guy has the love for his fans to do that.
No.
That's probably been my most opinionated take on the entire series that we've done so far. That I think so. It makes me sick. It makes me absolutely sick.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways,
let's
move on to a much more happier topic for some fan base, for one fan base in particular, and especially those who hate the Barclays Center. Do we have somebody around who can give us a take? Jay, can you give us a take on that? Are you the right person?
I don't know if I'm right.
Am I the right person?
No. There's got to be someone else here.
I don't know.
Lauren?
Well, actually, come to think of it, Islanders then? Perhaps. Let's get a take on this. The Belmont Arena deal. Let's talk about this.
An owner that the fans actually like. Yeah, the Islanders have finally closed on plans for the Belmont Center. Their project was the one that was selected. And, I mean, Ledecky came out and said, essentially, him and Garth Snow met. They weren't looking anywhere else. They only want Belmont Park. I don't think that they've actually announced what year they will be making that move. But at the end of the day, they've been selected, so they've definitely secured their place there. It shows that Ledecky has no desire to move that team as an owner. And it only improves the chances of Tavares re-signing. Again, I don't think that he cared about having a new arena. I think that it was about having a stable team that you knew that they were going to be there for the long term and that were committed to staying in Long Island. And the fans are happy because they're coming back. Brooklyn is technically part of Long Island, but they're coming back to what's considered Long Island and to right by where their home was in the past. For as much love as there is for Nassau Coliseum, it wasn't feasible to continue to use it as an NHL arena, so now they'll have an arena in that area again and be able to bring the Islanders back to that area.
Well, I mean, I probably won't ever have the same charm that Nassau did, but you're doing a lot better with a score clock that's actually in line with center ice. That'd be a good start for an arena.
Yep.
And no car hanging out there in the corner either.
Yeah.
It's so random. Just any picture I've seen of like any major reporter going to that arena is just, they say it's so terrible. The sight lines there and everything are
the
so
ice
bad.
is garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that are wrong with this arena. And to be going back and building your own facility that's made for you, it's got to be nice for the players as well. I mean, your practice facility is still in Long Island, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and they, like, completely redid that practice facility this year, and they did, like, an amazing job of it. And so they said, seeing what they did just with their practice facility, yeah, it makes them really excited to see what'll come. With Barclays, I mean, one of the biggest issues with the ice was that the pipes were made of plastic. Your pipes need to be made of metal in order to cool the ice to the temperature it needs to be at. I've been at a game at Barclays, and it's not the worst arena ever, but I also...
What is your worst arena ever? Let's put that in perspective.
Nate. No, I like the Nate Arena. But it's not this horrible thing where you can't see the game no matter what, but you also have to pick your seats. So I got a decent enough deal on the seats. If you choose to sit somewhere where there's obstructed views, you can get seats for like $21 American. So you're going to go to a hockey game for $21. You have an obstructed view. No, I think that the arena is a very nice arena, but it's not a nice hockey arena.
Yeah,
it's very clearly designed to be a basketball arena. And I think that's as simple as that. But yeah, I think that this move will be good. And it'll give kind of another option within New York for, like, performances to go to. So it's not always Madison Square Garden, but they can hopefully bring in performances when the Islanders aren't playing to whatever their new arena is going to be called.
Worst arena, probably the BB&T Center, which is in Florida. The BB&T Center. Apart from that, though, I mean, concur. This is a pretty easy discussion. We'll avoid going down to the Tavares rabbit hole for the sake of time tonight. But that's going to be a situation to keep watching. I don't know. We'll see about that. But the Islanders, certainly, this franchise stability is there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not called the New York Brooklyners. Let's just put it like that. They're the Islanders. They belong out there.
Brooklyn is on the island.
We're not talking about the practicalities of it. I mean, because yeah, it's technically on the island, but that's not where they want the fans wanted the team. That's not where the fans wanted the team.
One, I think, just quickly with the Tavares thing, I think the team has also done a lot, including this, to show their commitment to wanting to make Tavares happy. As far as the team goes, because you look, I think if they didn't have a commitment to Tavares, I don't know, Doug Waite would still be their coach. They kind of didn't really look at other coaches because Tavares liked Doug Waite. I think it's simple as that, is they went with the coach that their captain likes.
We've seen it before, though. In the take for instance in some other pro sports leagues, in the NBA, for instance, there's our reference. The Oklahoma City Thunder, there's our reference again. Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
He loved Billy Donovan as the head coach.
Yeah.
When it was time for a coaching change, and they made the change, but Durant still left.
Yeah.
For different circumstances altogether. I think it's going to come down to the main question: can the Islanders win? I think for most players in this position, either between money and the possibility of their franchise winning a Stanley Cup, I think those two factors are probably by far. Third, probably personal life, especially if you have a family settled down there. Between those three things, probably the vast majority of these players make their decisions out of those three factors. So, after evaluating them, it would be an interesting thing. I don't foresee him signing anything in the season here, but I don't know. I think the Islanders have to do something about that goaltending situation. But
I mean, up until this deal was made, Tavares hadn't really said anything, but now it's kind of, they're starting to say that he's not really now signing mid-season, which is a change from before. But we'll see what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't recall the last time a big-name player signed mid-season. I think Kovalchuk did a 17-year deal mid-season as part of the trade. Don't quote me on that one, but I think he might have. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But At any rate, let's do one or two quick hits here before we move into trivia on this abbreviated Christmas episode.
And it says here that Belmont Arena is 3 years out.
So it's 3 years out.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
It's in movement. It's in movement.
Quick hits. Austin Matthews.
Concussion. Yeah.
That's always scary when your star forward gets a concussion. Definitely the possibility for it happening again.
I think he's been skating for a week at this point. We'll see if Toronto chooses to keep him out still against the Rangers. I have a feeling they probably will. It'll give him a really long break.
With Christmas.
And then he can come back after that and start playing again. But yeah, he's been out on skates for I think it's about a week now, so that's a good sign.
I think today he took part in practice for the first time.
Yeah.
If I remember seeing that correctly. So
you just saw it on TV seconds ago.
Was that what? Oh, yeah, that's possibly it.
It could also just be that it was a minor concussion, or they were being very cautious about it.
Exactly. You don't want to rush that at all.
Yeah. So it may not be a full concussion. Like it could just be he had some concussion-like symptoms, and they went, "Let's sit you and just make sure."
Yeah, because star player like that, one of the top forwards in the league, you don't want to rush that at all.
Yeah.
So probably smart on their part.
I think that the other thing that probably tap on Jaylen and I went to a couple times here, Vegas.
Yeah,
Quick
let's
word on Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about Vegas like every week, just how they keep winning. They won recently against Tampa, as we mentioned previously, that they're a top team in the league, so it's pretty cool to see.
Let's ask a quick question here. Let's go around the table quickly. When does the fairy tale end?
Playoffs.
Yeah.
First round?
I think they make second round.
Depends on their matchup.
I think they have nothing to lose. They have no expectations for them this year. They're exceeding every expectation so far. They have no pressure on them.
Yeah, I think they go out first round.
I
think they go out first round. I think they end up in a high seed and they draw really bad.
You think will they finish first in the Pacific?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. It depends. Which leads into the second question: do you buy? If you're Vegas, do you use your assets?
No, I think you stay
to buy?
I think you stay pretty put. I think you don't want to go too far off your long-term plan.
Yeah.
I think if the right piece is available, you might look at bringing in one.
But I think
it depends on the cost.
There was a Players Tribune article this week from David Perron.
Yeah, I saw that. The Vegas, yeah.
Yes. How well constructed that team is made by George McPhee. How every player was picked to play with another player. I think in that case, you kind of evaluate it now, and you kind of maybe add one or two small pieces that you need, but I think this is the team that he wanted for this year, and I think they're doing exactly what they need to do. I don't think you add much.
Do they have a protected pick this year?
We looked that up. We don't think so.
But see, I've heard that they do. I can't find a definitive answer. Maybe Cat Friendly will have.
I think everybody thought that it'd be a shoo-in.
I think that I want to say it was part of their, thing of becoming a team.
That they get a top 3 pick.
I think they're guaranteed lottery. I don't think they're.
Well, every team is guaranteed lottery, though.
Who doesn't make the playoffs?
Yeah.
It may be that they're guaranteed top 3 chances.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's what it is. They're guaranteed a top 3 chance. They're
even if they make
second.
the playoffs?
I feel like that's what.
How does the lottery work on that?
That they get that, and I guess you add another team to the pool.
Well, that's not fair though. For all these other teams, yes.
Well, but it's an expansion team, so that's one of the things you bring in. Because when has an expansion team ever done this well?
Never.
So that's the reality. Is that
There's no precedent.
Is that you built this around an expectation of, and a fair enough expectation of what this team would be, and it's not. But at the end, right now, this team is good. They have no prospect pool.
A deal's a deal, I suppose.
They have Tyler Wong.
What
they have Tyler Wong, but
what,
they have
no, they don't. But nevertheless,
they kinda do.
No, not really. But nevertheless, can you imagine if they end up with Dolan?
Oh man.
This is going to come back to blow up in the NHL space. And this has serious implications for Seattle when they come in 3 years. Serious implications.
Oh, yes.
Seattle's huge. We need to talk about Seattle, but that's...
We already
yes.
did.
I believe I remember hearing this correctly. Isn't there a lot of players on Vegas that are only signed for one more year, as in they're done after this year?
They could be. They could
I feel
be
like they have a lot.
Let me pull it up.
Quick, okay.
You guys go.
That Seattle, in terms of
Yes.
the implications
The answer
for...
is yes.
They have a lot of... Oh.
Yeah.
They have 3 defensemen signed past the end of the season.
And they were heavy on defense.
Yes.
They were defense heavy.
Theodore is one of them, isn't he? Or is he only until the end of this year?
So the 3 that will remain on are Brad Hunt, Braden McNabb, and Nate Schmidt.
And remember they signed McNabb.
They need to get Theodore
Well,
locked
he's
down.
RFA. He's got to be RFA.
Oh, so he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yes, he's an RFA.
But you still need to
and
pay
not
him.
arbitration eligible either.
Oh,
There you go. They've got him easy.
yeah.
Colin Miller and John Merrill are both arbitration eligible RFAs.
Everybody else is UFA.
Forwards? What do they have?
I think they got
Okay.
Neil for one more year.
I think
Nope.
Oh, he's
so.
on,
No, he is UFA. Yeah, he's a big UFA. That's
Yeah.
right.
Perron's UFA too, isn't he?
Here, I'll just quickly run down those who will be still on contract. You've got David Clarkson,
No,
that
no.
doesn't count.
Riley Smith, Cody Aiken, Eric Holla,
He's been good.
Oscar Lindberg,
Okay.
Edward Belmer,
Yeah, Belmar.
Belmar, yeah.
Alex Tuch,
Touche. Yeah.
Tuck.
It is
Tuck.
Tuck, yeah, you're right.
Uh,
Yeah.
Leipzig, and then Ryan Carpenter.
So their top scorers from this year, Marchessault, Carlson, Neal, are all UFAs.
Marshall, I believe, is RFA.
No,
Oh, he's UFA?
UFA?
Ah,
Oh.
it's old.
he's 26.
Oh, yeah.
Just
there you
off
go.
of it,
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll, that's the
RFAs
problem after
are
this year, hey?
William Carlson is an arbitration eligible RFA. All their RFAs for forwards are arbitration eligible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of... There's still a big chance to rework the roster there, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but they've been fun to watch. They're one of my favorite teams to watch this year. I mean, the Flames aren't doing so well, so they're an exciting team to watch. They're unbelievable how well they play.
I mean, we'll see if this fairy tale continues, but
Mhm.
it's one to keep our eye on. But let's quickly segue into trivia.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got a different way of doing it.
Okay.
So obviously next week the World Juniors
Ooh.
begin,
Interesting. Can't wait for
and
that.
we're not gonna ask a bunch of random questions. We're gonna go through the anatomy of one of the greatest all-time moments in World Junior history. Ask trivia questions based off of that.
Jordan Everly?
Loose puck
Yeah,
in front,
Jordan
Everly
Everly.
scores, tie game. Can you believe it?
I can! Oh, man. So good.
I love Pierre.
Anyways.
We need to have a debate about him some week. I'll gladly argue that Pierre is the greatest color commentator of all time. But
You want to wonder if this makes Jordan Everly feel old? The fact that Matt Barzell talks about growing up watching that moment as a kid.
That was a highlight.
so we're gonna walk through this play.
Okay.
We're gonna walk through the inner moments. And we're gonna ask questions based off of the play.
Okay.
I know nothing about the play.
Oh, yes. Easy win.
This is just
Easy win.
just like Happy Gilmore. Tap it in, Jay. Tap it in. This is an easy win. But the way these questions might be asked, you never know.
Con Tavares.
Who's going first?
Lauren.
Okay.
Lauren's going first. This magical play happened in the year. You gotta think about this one. I mean, goodness, the hero is on your team.
I think.
My first original question was, who was the player? But of course, that would be a little too easy. But mind you, the way trivia's gone this year, maybe you guys need it.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, 2009.
And we have a right answer. 2009.
Was it the 2009 World Juniors? So it happened in 2009 or it happened in 2010? Or 2008, I mean.
Doesn't matter.
Right, because it was in the new year.
Yeah.
That's right, okay.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
She's right.
Okay. Yep, that's fair.
So, Jay, what is your question going to be? So what were the stakes of the game, Jay? What game was that in the tournament?
This was the semi-final game to get into the final.
We're just going to keep rolling along here. Very good. Everyone got an easy first question.
Oh, great.
All right. All right. So there's a whole bunch of things that lead up to this play. The first thing that happens in this sequence is Team Canada's got the goalie pulled. There's less than 2 minutes to play.
Okay.
Lauren, what is the play that precipitates the face-off in the Russian zone? Something happened. There's a face-off in the Russian zone.
Okay.
But why?
Why did that happen?
Acing?
Because Trevishev iced the puck, if we recall the Pierre McGuire.
Right.
So she's right.
Good one.
Shocking.
Good one.
Jaylen, this defenseman on the
I
team,
knew this question was coming.
the Russians tried to clear, and this defenseman held the puck in. This current NHL defenseman, current rising NHL defenseman, held the puck in. Remember, you've each got one hint button that can make the question easier.
I knew this question was coming.
You knew this was what it was going to
And
be.
I've been trying to think of it since you started asking questions.
And
I knew it was coming. It wasn't Subban. Subban was the other defenseman on the ice.
Dang it, that wrecks a question for later on.
The other defenseman, his last name starts with an S?
Remember, easy. Tap it in.
Just
tap it in.
tap it in. I think I want to use my hint.
Currently plays in the Central Division.
It's not... No. Maybe.
He's going through all the teams.
It might be... I have it down to... Could be Suter. Could be Scandella. Who else am I missing from the Central? There wouldn't be anyone on Dallas. I'm going to go Suter. No, it's not Suter.
Oh,
Suter
no.
American?
Yeah, he
Ryan
is.
Suter's American.
Oh, this
He's
is
too
Yeah.
old for the tournament.
No.
Yeah, like...
Ryan Ellis.
Ellis, that's who it is.
Ellis holds the puck in.
That's right.
Ellis holds
Picking
the
an
puck in.
American, Jay.
Yeah, I know. I was under pressure, okay? I didn't have 20 minutes to try to figure out the answer.
Zach doesn't know second overall picks.
I do. It just takes me a long time to get there. All right. Lauren.
For the win. Who was the other defenseman on the ice?
Who is the other defenseman on the... Oh, no. All right.
But she wouldn't be so satisfying to have me beat Jay
No.
with another PK Subban answer.
It's
Nope.
I think that's my tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
Lauren, Everly scored the goal. How many goals did Everly score in the game?
Two.
See, this is a tough one. We're going to have to go to upstairs for this call.
No, I'm not going to give it to her because I...
Yeah, because we know that there was something, but
Oh,
it's under
wasn't one in a shootout then?
there's a shootout goal.
Which
He
counts as...
scored 2 in the game. The question is, did he score the winner in the shootout?
I think
Did he score the winning goal?
He didn't he? Because he was the only one to score. Or he scored the
There was
first
a
one.
second. I think Nazem Kadri scored one, or somebody else got one. Was it Tavares? Somebody else scored.
Yeah, maybe Tavares, but I don't think Russia scored any goals.
No, Russia didn't score.
So that would mean he shot first. I know that. So he would have the winning goal.
So we're gonna go to the box score. We are going to go to the box score for this game, because I should have thought about it before we asked this question. It's tough because
international play.
We've got a decision. The player who scored the winning goal in the shootout was John Tavares. No, it was Everly. It was a 3-goal game for Everly. It was a hat-trick goal.
Ooh.
So, Lauren's close, but it's going to go to Jaylen.
Not right.
Unfortunately, on this...
But aren't shootout goals technically not counted towards a player?
In IIHF goal rules, they are. Unfortunately. It was a good attempt. It was a good attempt. A technicality. Gives Jaylen a chance for the tie. Lauren still has a hint left, but never mind. Jaylen's got a chance here.
Why did I say Ryan Suter?
I don't know. And you used your hint.
Yeah. Ouch.
So I've actually got... We've got the idea of what the last question is, but we are just awaiting confirmation over this moment, because it was... this one's a little contentious. This one's going to be a tough one, Jay.
Okay.
Stupid Sport Check ads. They're probably not going to pay us if we play it on the tape, are we?
No.
Unlikely.
We have no contract.
Okay.
Are you going to ask me to fill in the line? I don't know.
Who's the Russian player who I suck? No. Play. The crowd loves it. Tavares' magical play. Tavares gets all the credit for that goal from Pierre Maguire. Inexplicably, Tavares gets all the credit. Canada had 6 players on the ice. Jordan Eberle, John Tavares, Ryan Ellis, PK Subban.
Do I have to name both?
You have to name, and no, you don't have to name both, because the 5th was Zach Boychuk.
Oh, come on, that's not fair.
And Super Hurricane, Leftfish Hurricanes fan over here, and knew he was going to get it.
It's like,
you have to name the last player who was on the ice. Who was the 6th player?
I don't even remember who else was on that team. This is... Can you... I know I used my hint. Can you tell me if he's playing in the NHL right now?
It is a bit of an unfair question.
Can you tell me if he's playing in the NHL right now?
I'll do you one better. He was a Vancouver Canucks draft pick. And he went 10th overall. I don't think that's going to help him. But...
Vancouver draft pick, 10th overall. That...
Kind of just want to see him get it. Kind of want to. Go, Jaylen.
Why, so you can go for the tiebreaker? So you can do the tiebreaker?
Actually.
Do you know? Do you have any idea?
I just don't know if this player is Canadian.
Why don't you write it down on your phone and pass it over?
The thing is, I have a feeling that I'm wrong about it, so no.
I'm actually very interested at this point.
It's one of two players.
Well, who are the two players? Walk us through.
The player I was thinking of is Swiss.
Who are you thinking?
It's either... I'm not even going to look at you so that it doesn't give it away.
All right.
It's either Zach Cassian or Gilbert Brulé. I think. They were both drafted by Vancouver. Brulé would have been around that time because he would have won the Mem Cup with Vancouver around that time. So I remember that. Zach Cassian around at that time.
Player.
I'm going to kick myself if it's the other one, but I'm going to go with Brulé.
Let's play the clip forward, and let's walk through this as they ice the puck.
The player's no longer in the NHL.
Which plays into the Gilbert Brulé talk. Because I believe that Pierre is going to walk us through the play here. So we got Jaylen looking at the clip.
Makes a big play, keeping the puck alive at the offensive blue line. He doesn't panic on his backhand. Good support by the Canadian player, Zach Boychuk. Watch 19 and white. Come over, puts it on goal. There's some composure. And then Everly from the back forehand to the backhand to the back of the net. All back. 5.4 seconds from their gold medal streak ending. Canada gains new life.
This isn't going anywhere.
I thought that he said it when he dropped Zach Boychuk's name. So unfortunately there was a fail on that end. But we do have
Cody Hodgson. That's who it was.
Cody Hodgson.
Brulé was earlier than that.
He was the 05 draft,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I just thought of that now.
I thought you were looking at Luc Bourdon there for a minute.
No.
May he rest in peace.
That's actually, then that's who I was kind of thinking of.
But
he was a
Cody
defenseman,
Hodgson,
right?
Would you have got it if I said he was traded to Buffalo?
No, probably not.
No. Cody
See,
Hodgson.
that I would have figured out.
The 5.4 seconds left was actually the tie-breaking question.
Oh.
But which
To
would
be
have been
fair, I've never actually seen this play before.
End the episode right now.
It
What's going on?
gave you a chance.
Like, I've seen, like, little clips of it, but, like, never the whole thing. Just, I didn't watch hockey then.
Well, unfortunately for Jay, he turned out to be Shooter McGavin, and Lauren turned out to take the role of Happy Gilmore.
Shooter!
And just like the guy with the nail in his head who runs up and steals the jacket back from Jay, so Jaylen had his crown stolen today. Maybe better luck in 2 weeks' time, or 1 week time. I think
2
Lauren's
weeks.
going to put up
It'll be 2 weeks
something.
for you, too.
Yeah.
I will
Lauren,
shockingly do one by myself.
Jaylen and I are going on family obligation week.
yeah.
So
We won't be around.
on behalf of Jaylen Corver and Lauren Smith, Zach Hampton wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. 2 of the 3 of us will see you in 2018. 1 will see you next week. On behalf of both of them, enjoy the World Juniors, and for the final time that he's going to say it,
Light that lamp and the candles. Have a good night.
you're not Jack Edwards. Good night, everybody.